Hi dreamers, welcome back to my channel Roses Star and Books. And oh my god, I just finished reading Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I've been seeing this book like all over BookTok, Bookstagram, BookTube, and I decided that I want to read it. Mind you, I never listened to what it was about or anything like that. All I know is that people were saying that they were crying after reading this book and like the reactions, but I never had a clue about what this book was about. And oh my god. So let me start by saying when I got into this book, I was like so lost. I was like, okay, what is the book really about? Because at this point, she fell on the floor, and the way in which the author described the scene, the blood, within her memories. At first, I thought it was a case of abuse, and I was like, oh my god, I will definitely be crying. But then when I got, a few more percentage in, I realized it was like she went through a loss and what that loss was really about. And I was just overwhelmed with emotions because, I mean, she lost her child. Note well that there might be spoilers in this review, so let me say at this point, if you want to read the book and you don't want any spoilers, so it's better you don't read this and watch this review. So yeah, but she lost her child and on the floor of their business place, and as she fell at that moment, it reminded her of that. And me having like a child, that was one of my biggest fears, like just losing my child in any way, shape, or form. That was like a big fear, and I'm sure that is a fear of a lot of women that want children or is about to have a child. Just losing your child in any way, from just losing your child, it doesn't matter if it's like during pregnancy or after. Just the thought of losing someone that you grew within you and is taken care of, like, it's just a lot. And so I just knew that from that moment, I just knew that I will be like crying through this book. I didn't really cry, like those moments where I tear up and I was like, oh my god, this is so emotional. But I didn't really cry. But I must say that, oh my god, this book was so emotional. Kennedy Ryan did such a great job at creating the scenes and making it so realistic that you feel for these characters and you definitely understand their hurt, their grief, and you definitely was cheering on their time back together, I will say. So I must say that I really enjoyed. This might be like my favorite book of the month, and it's just a third of the month, and I already found my favorite book for the month. Like, I'm going on this journey of finding my favorite books of each month, and hopefully a all around favorite book at the end of the year. I've never done this before, so it's something new for me. So this book is definitely would be a top pick for the end of the year. Trust me. So at this point, I would just like to share like some highlights, some things that I highlighted within this book, like quotes and things that I thought was either cute or like very heartbreaking. I just want to share this. Like, let's get into my quotes. So I have my tablet here. So the first quote, which was like 2% in, it said, finding someone you can laugh with when everything hurts was the stuff happily ever afters were made of. That was so cute. Then, still 2% in, come on. The first time I saw her, my friends laughed because I stopped in the middle of whatever bullshit I was saying and stared. That's not me. No matter how fine, no girl ever drop kicked me at first sight the way Yasmin did. I want to see her smooth brown skin, the sweet full lips, the thick fan of lashes on my children. Like, okay. But he was so sweet and, everything. Still 2% in, they ghost over my lips and eyes like butterflies that float out of reach before I can grab them. But I must say that her writing was very beautiful and heartbreaking. It had all the feels. So 16% in, I highlighted this. She's as beautiful as the day we first met. She's changing, aging, but to me, only getting better. Like God looked at the feline flare of her cheekbones and the tempting pout of her mouth, the sultry dark eyes flicked with gold, and said, "You think she looks good now? I'm just getting started." That was so poetic. And I also highlighted Jeremiah 29:11. Like, it's a scripture, so I highlighted that. Then I highlighted, and I think I'm most grateful for time, which doesn't always heal all wounds, but teaches us how to be happy again, even with our scars. This quote is very, very important. Like, sometimes we think that time heals everything, you know, time heals wounds, but time does not do that. I think time just basically helps us accept things better and help us live with our scars and being able to cope with the scars that we do have. So I thought this quote was very important. This part in this book was very important. And I thought Kennedy Ryan way of putting in counseling with the father and the son and the mother and eventually the whole family was very important, because we often feel like, oh, why do I need counseling? Like, this shit won't help me. Like, having to talk to someone about my feelings, this is not gonna go well with me and stuff like that. I think that a lot of people have this stigma against counseling, and especially men. And like yeah, like men, like they were taught like to be strong and to hold shit together and basically avoid expressing emotions. But we have to remember that men are human, we are all human, and we need help sometimes, and sometimes talking through our emotions can really really help us. And so I thought that was a very very good aspect of this book. And me being a psychology student, like, I really appreciated that part, like, yeah. And next quote: if I waited until I don't have feelings for Yasmin before I move on, I tell Vash Vashti, I can't remember her name, as gently as I can, I never would. Like, what is her name again? Like, I can't even remember how to pronounce her name, but. And then I highlighted, I was no walk in the park, Mary. Who wants to walk in the park? I think that man would run wild for you. And then, oh, I highlighted quite a bit. I usually don't even highlight anything in books. So, me highlighting this stuff is like very alarming. I told her it wasn't that I wanted to take my life. This one. She said, but she says, but that I didn't want to live it. I'd wake up disappointed that I wasn't still asleep and think, oh my God, I have to do this again. I have to be here again. The only thing that got me out of bed was knowing I had to take care of my children, even though I had no desire to even take care of me. All day I had to remind myself of how much they would miss me if I was gone, of what I would miss if I wasn't here. Even though here was the last place I wanted to be for a long time, I ached every moment of every day. Like, oh my God, I felt this so deeply. Like, I've been depressed before, and I know this feeling all too well, and it's not a nice feeling. I must say, before I had my child, like, I was very very depressed, and like I felt this way. Like, I didn't really have someone or something to hold on to, but I did. And then getting pregnant really solidified the fact that, okay, I really need to be strong. I really need to walk through my depression and everything, because I have a child coming into this world and I want to be here for her. I want to have a healthy mental health so that I can continue living, enjoying life, even if, not really for her, but for me, I just want to enjoy life. So it's just a lot to be depressed. It's just a lot. And this really hit the nail on the head. So I highlighted this. I sat in a chilly, sterile room, numb and only half hearing the doctor say a C-section would be the best option in a case like mine. My body, which for 8 months had been the source of life for my baby, had become a tomb. That that was so heartbreaking and yet poetic at the same time. Like, whew, it was a lot. And final two quotes. So it says, depression, she goes on, is a liar. If it will tell you no one loves you, that you're not good enough, that you're a burden, or in most extreme cases, better off dead, then it can certainly convince you that you're better off without the man you love. And that ultimately he's better off without you. Like, oh my God, depression is such a lie. It will tell you all the wrong things. It will tell you things to make you feel so bad about yourself, to really set yourself in a hole. And we just often have to remember depression is a liar. It's not real. There are people that cares about us. They would not be better off without us. They need us as much as we need them at times. And so, like, we have to always keep reminding ourselves, don't feed into those lies, don't let them get to us. Overcome that. And if we need help, it's okay to ask for help, it's okay to seek help. This book is a big reiteration on, it's okay to seek help, it's okay to go to therapy, it's okay to work through your emotions. Oh my God, this book was everything. And then my last quote: there's a part of me that keeps thinking I don't deserve it, I confess. Did we deserve all this shit that happened to us? The things and the people we lost? I've learned that life isn't about taking what you deserve. It's about getting all you can while you can, because it's short, because it's fickle, because it takes when we least expect it. Now everything I've lost makes me cherish the things I have, instead of always being afraid I'll lose them. sealed the deal for me. This was the best book ever. And the last few pages really, really honed in on how great this book was. Oh my god, I was like, oh, this book is so good. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Like, I should have filmed my reactions, but I was using my phone to like listen to the audiobook, so I didn't want to really move to my tablet to listen and then film on my phone. So it was just a wonderful story. It was heartbreaking, but it was a story that held great meaning, and it was an important message. And I think that mothers that have went through such loss, because despite that you lost your child, your mother, at least to me. So like I think that women would appreciate this book, and maybe men as well, men would appreciate this book and enjoy this book. So yeah, that was my experience reading this book. So thank you for listening to my little rants, my little thoughts on this book, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.